some passion, I'ma teach that boy a lesson. Got your bitch on her knees doing yoga, how she stretching. I don't got lemons, but I squeeze. No, I'm super fresh, life a breeze. Yeah, 2 big locks on my knees. Yeah, baby, this is Villon on my team. Yeah.
And I'm back, man. This time, man, we got some crazy, disturbing, more GTA news on the first day of the new year, man, 2025. So apparently in New Orleans, a vehicle have plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street and multiple. I heard it was 10 people that passed away. This is just in. Let's see what they're talking about.
WWL Louisiana Morning News begins with breaking news.
It is 4:30 on this New Year's Day. We are saying good morning to you with breaking news. A very sad situation we are following right now in downtown New Orleans, where New Orleans police are on the scene of what's being described as a major incident in the French Quarter on Bourbon Street. Multiple reports right now of potentially multiple casualties after authorities say a vehicle plowed into a group of people. Happened a couple hours ago. Our newsroom working to get details. Our Winston Reed live right now at Canal and Baronne with the very latest. Winston, we see a lot of police cars and a lot of people. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, there's well over 50 NOPD vehicles out here. We've also seen ambulance vehicles as well as the Orleans Parish Coroner out here arriving on Canal Street. We were told that there have been reports of multiple people being struck by a vehicle in the French Quarter area, possibly near Bourbon Street. I was able to walk near Bourbon Street, and much of Bourbon Street is now blocked off, and many bars and restaurants on Bourbon Street also had to be evacuated following what one person tells me is one big investigation. We also heard reports of multiple gunshots being fired. We're working to confirm a lot of this information, but one thing I did see while walking through the French Quarter and surveying the area, I've seen many people very emotional and in tears and crying, kind of describing, you know, in conversation amongst each other what may have happened. Again, I've been told from witness accounts that there was someone who struck multiple people in the French Quarter area. I also have heard reports of gunshots as well. We haven't had a chance to get official confirmation from NOPD, but you're looking at the scene here on Canal Street following New Year's Eve celebrations.
Bro, what in the world, bro? This is crazy. I feel like somebody just rolled through walking people, because how 10 people just die like that? I'm not saying that you can't cause a crash, but they ain't like it. Now, if it was on a highway, high speed, then yeah, I could see 10 people in cars dying. But I think it's somebody, they say, oh, well, say plows into a crowd. Yeah.
And you're seeing well over, again, 50 NOPD police cars. We've seen the Orleans Parish Coroner arrive here on Canal Street. That could be an indication of possible fatalities that have taken place in the French Quarter. But of course, we're working to get that confirmation right now. Also, LSP is on scene as well. They are here with a staging area as well on Canal Street. We're seeing a lot of people flood onto Canal. You may see a lot of people walking. That's because, again, a lot of restaurants and bars on Bourbon Street had to be evacuated. A lot of the business owners did remove all the patrons out of their bars and out of their businesses at the time. That's what I saw when I was walking down Bourbon Street, a lot of these bars being evacuated. But again, this is Baronne and Canal Street, working to get that information. You see a lot of flashing lights flooding the area. Again, many different agencies from the fire department. You see EMS, you see LSP, you see NOPD here in the area, and much of the French Quarter around Bourbon Street between Conti and Dauphin and other stretches of Bourbon Street have been closed off following those bars and restaurants being evacuated. So we're working to get more information and more updates on what's going on. But again, the coroner has arrived here on Canal Street. We're getting reports of multiple people being struck by a vehicle in the French Quarter, as well as gunshots in the French Quarter as well. And it is being called one big investigation. Brandon?
All right, Winston, we do thank you for that. A lot of information there. I do want to walk you back for a second. You said that you were walking through the area and you saw groups of people. You described some of them in tears, shaken up by what they had witnessed. Did you hear any specifics about what they may have experienced?
Yeah, I was just overhearing in conversation as I was walking through the French Quarter, some gruesome accounts of witnessing people being struck and people emotional, and it's a sensitive time where I don't want to intrude and immediately ask what's going on unless you kind of get that sense of invitation, that invite of conversation, because it's a very sensitive and delicate situation. I would think that perhaps some of the people who are emotional are connected to the victims in this investigation tonight. But again, it's one of those situations where you're hearing a lot of things, you're getting a lot of emotions, and it's Bourbon Street. So it's New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street. It is a very intense, it's very a very intense situation.
Sure.
Following what is a very active social night here in the French Quarter. So, but yes, I've seen and heard people kind of describe what they saw as that vehicle that
Man, that shit probably ran over just everybody, bro. Here we go again, off the rip. We starting with the BS, off the rip.
we've heard plowed through a group of people. I've heard the number could be over 20 people were struck by a vehicle, but again, waiting to get confirmation here. We actually have an NOPD representative here who we're hoping to speak to in a few moments once we get off camera.
All right, Winston, well, we do thank you. We will let you go get what information that you do need, but taking a look at that live picture right now, let's just hold it for 1 second. Photojournalist Troy Toops there on scene. You saw two people there wrapped in what appeared to be blankets, walking with an EMS representative to that ambulance there.
Man, y'all be on y'all P's and Q's out here in these streets, bro. Like, and you can't even, they was just that's crazy. You can just celebrate New Year's Eve and a cycle run over people. Like,
Aware of what their tie may be to this investigation, but as witnesses described there on scene to Winston there, chaos on Bourbon Street, Winston at Canal and Barone, as we take it back live here in studio. He also mentioned that NOPD is preparing a command post where they will fill us in on what they know right now amid reports of a vehicle plowing into a crowd on Bourbon Street, multiple casualties, the medical examiner on scene. However, we do not have any confirmation on the number of injuries, and going even further than that, the number of fatalities. But again, we can tell you that a vehicle plowed into the crowd on Bourbon Street on this New Year's morning as thousands descend on the city of New Orleans for both the holiday and the Sugar Bowl, which is set to take place tonight. Not any time being ideal for this, but to assume that there were a lot of people there on Bourbon Street at the time would likely be correct. As we take another view now of a bird's eye view from one of our cameras there, our View Orleans camera there, you can see Canal Street pointed north toward Claiborne. The camera there from the foot of Canal, you can see just how massive of a scene we're talking about. Most of the investigation seems to be on the riverbound side of Canal Street as we do take a live look at the investigation here. Witnesses describing to Winston a massive investigation underway, and by the looks of all of the emergency vehicles there, that would indicate just that. On the ground, you saw EMS seemingly treating two people unaware of their tie to the investigation. But again, most of what we know is centered on Bourbon Street, where the NOPD does tell us that a vehicle has plowed into a crowd there. No confirmation yet on the number of injuries or fatalities, but we can tell you that the medical examiner has arrived on scene. Multiple reports coming into our newsroom right now. Our crew's working to get to the bottom of this. We also have our Leah McNeil, who is on scene right now as NOPD has set up that staging area. Also, Louisiana State Police to fill us in on where this investigation stands. Stay with us all morning as
well, 2025. It has begun. In my Shang Tsung Mortal Kombat voice. Condolences to them people, man. But we're gonna stay close to this story. If something else break out, we can get more. Well, more developments will come out. Um, Stay tuned, man. I appreciate y'all. Condolences, y'all. Be on y'all P's and Q's, man. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Gone.